We just were racking up credit card debt, and no matter what we did to pay them off, we were making minimum payments plus, and it just wasn't enough. I had called them, seeing if there's anything we can do, and they really couldn't help us. I had to do something. I didn't want to go through bankruptcy. It wasn't an option. We spent the money, we had to be responsible for it. We weren't going to cheat anybody out of that money. I would get calls from the credit card companies probably twice a week reminding me that my payment was late, or they tack on the fees, the late payment fees, and there's just no way of getting out from underneath it without some professional help. One of the first things I saw when I walked in was the 5-gallon jugs that were filled with cut up credit cards. It made me feel like they were active in what they did. They were able to get results in what they did.
When we first sat down with them and looked at their budget, it didn't balance. They showed a monthly deficit when we looked at monthly income and expenses. After sitting down and reviewing their budget, they took things home and thought things over for a couple of weeks and looked at areas in their budget to either increase income or decrease expenses. When Tony and Peggy came back to GreenPath at the end of July, they had reviewed their budget, they had changed some things. We were able to get them back into a budget that showed monthly that they were balancing, and they decided to set up on the debt management plan.
It was a relief. It really was. Knowing that a plan was made and she had something all in writing for me that showed me how much I'd have to pay and how long it would take to get taken care of. Kind of nice seeing the letters of acceptance from the credit card companies, plus the smaller credit cards, the smaller balances. When those got paid off, we'd get the zero balance statement, and that was nice seeing that.
In 2009, things got a little rocky for Tony and Peggy. His income at work was reduced. He came in, we worked with him on the budget, we made some cuts on our end through the debt management program payments, and then he really did everything he could at home with picking up extra work, cutting out costs, reducing expenses further than they even had at the beginning of the program. He was bound and determined to make it work.
My hours got cut, and it was more difficult to make ends meet, so I was doing side work, mowing yards and this and that to make ends meet.
And it was hard. It was hard because he'd put his full day in and then have to work all evening, until dark.
Tony was really diligent about keeping on track with the debt management plan. He reviewed his creditor statements every month. He always made sure to get us copies of those. He was watching his balances decrease month over month. Some
of the sacrifices we made were to not buy ourselves Christmas gifts. We took care of the kids first, and we didn't go on any vacations for a real long time. It just, our vacations were taking the kids to their hockey meets and their swim meets, or going up to the camp that we work at and volunteering our time up there.
Christmas was kind of a big one, but we didn't eat out. We really watched that. We kept our old cars going. I think that was a big one. We always looked forward to maybe having a little bit nicer car.
As our debt management plan was almost done, we realized we were going to finish early.
At the beginning of the debt management plan, we estimated it was going to take about 5 years to pay the debt load in full. And Tony and Peggy actually completed successfully in about 47 months, which is fantastic. That's almost a year early.
That last year was really exciting because we got we paid off some big credit cards in that last year. And all that money that went from that other credit card went to the new credit card, and just dwindled away till it was zero.
It was hard to believe, but it was exciting to actually think it was going to happen.
It was exciting knowing that, number one, we were going to finally be out from underneath all these credit cards, and we're going to have that extra money to spend on whatever we want. And I chose this year not to do all my side jobs. I'm spending more time here in the yard and spending a lot of time up at camp.
Tony's in the yard all the time working. Our kids grew up in the yard with us working out here. I'm in the house a lot working, but there's just constant work, weeding need to be done. We enjoy having the family over here.
I find I have a lot more time now to work out in the yard, something I really enjoy. It's just, everything's looking real good this year, and it hasn't looked good in a few years, just because I haven't had the time to take care of it. We've learned our lesson. If we need to use credit in the future, we'll be very diligent about making the correct payments or researching a little bit better. But we haven't had to use a credit card for a real long time, and I don't plan on using it in the future.
I got used to, oh, that would be nice, but no. So it is nice. I think you always pay attention, even if you do have, I think if we came into a lot of money, we still would have our, ways of spending and would really think careful before spending.
It's kind of nice going somewhere and actually just writing a check or using a debit card to pay in full instead of pulling a credit card out and paying for that.
Well, this past Christmas, it was nice not to worry.
It was nice not having to worry about if we'd have enough money to buy things for the kids.
At the end of the debt management plan, Tony sent us an email, and in it he said that he really felt at the beginning that they were in a hole of debt, and GreenPath was the ladder to help him climb out of that hole throughout the program. That's just really exciting for us to be able to participate with someone who's working that hard to get out of the debt that they're in.
We had dug ourselves into a deep hole, and we couldn't find a way out, and GreenPath was there to give us a ladder to help us get out of that hole.